What's good? We're back in this thing. Today we're going to be going over this TG, KOMMAS, Big STEPPA featuring NLE CHOPPA music video edited by WILKO Visuals. We did the Big STEPPA music video for Fredo Bang actually. So I'm going to be going over a really similar effect that he did, but just like a variation of it. Probably going to do like 2 or 3 different variations of the effect you can do, and then kind of give you guys some ideas on what you can do to make it different and unique, kind of how he did in this video. I'll have Wilko's Instagram linked below, so definitely go give him a follow. Be sure to follow me on all social medias. I'll have that linked below as well. If you're new here, what I do is a lot of music video tutorials, music video breakdowns, as well as vlogs in the hip hop and music industry. If you haven't already, go check out my latest vlogs. I just moved to LA. I've been in sessions with Guapdad, Warhol, Jazz Cartier, just a bunch of different artists. I've been taking photos and videos. So if you're interested in what I do on a daily basis, go check out my vlogs. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so. And let's go for 500 likes and 100 comments on this video. It helps push my content to other people that want to see these types of videos. And my goal for this year is heading to 100,000 subscribers. If you have a friend that's interested in anything like this, feel free to share it with them. If you want to support the channel even more, you can go over to briandelmata.com, check out my texture pack. It helps you get the AUG, Lone Wolf, paper style rips, effects, and transitions. I'll have a link of a full tutorial playlist as well as the website where you can purchase the pack down below. It helps support the channel as well as gives you guys really high quality digital assets. But yeah guys, it's enough talking. Let's get into the video, break down this effect, and kind of show you some new variations of this effect. So I just started off here in Premiere. I like doing link comps, so just cut out where I wanted the effect to take place and then right click and replace with After Effects composition. It's going to bring up After Effects and where you want to save it, and then I'm going to have the effect take place throughout the whole entire clip. What I'm going to go ahead and do is go to the roto brush tool here, double click on NLE and bring it to the beginning so we can get a mask around him. And then for your clips, it's really important to be as precise as possible so you get a really good mask, and you know, it just looks a lot better when you get a really good mask. So I'm going to go through and do that real quick. For the tutorial, I'm probably going to do a little bit rougher job than I would normally, but just keep in mind, the better job you do, the better the effect's going to look in the long run. I was having a real hard time actually masking for this clip, so it might look a little bit rougher than I actually thought. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make it look a little bit better. The more time you spend on masking and making it look good, like I said earlier, the better the effect will turn out. And it's easier on like clips with higher contrast, so if like the whole background was just white here and NLE was standing in front of it, it would be a lot easier to mask them out. So now I'm just going frame by frame. It's looking pretty good. There's obviously some spots where it's cutting out, but I'm not too worried about it for the tutorial. You just know you can make it look a lot better if you spend some time. And then once you're done going through all the frames, go ahead down here and click freeze. What that's going to do is just lock in the roto brush and actually mask him out and make the background transparent and him just stand alone. Once it's done freezing, make sure to go up to layer up here and click exit out, and then it's going to bring you into the composition. And now you can see you have NLE just masked out. Obviously there's some rough edges and whatever, it doesn't look the best. What I'm going to do is just shift the edge in a little bit just because it's pretty rough looking, 80%, and maybe bump up the feather to something like 7, 8. That should look a little bit better. It's still pretty rough, but you get the idea. And then what I'm going to do is click on the layer and click Control D. What that's going to do is just duplicate the clip, and then I'm going to go to the bottom layer and click delete on the roto brush. So now you have the top layer is the subject and the bottom layer is just the normal clip as it plays. The first thing I'm going to do is type in motion tile. I didn't do this in the original tutorial. If you want to watch the original tutorial and get a better feel for basics of this effect, go ahead and do that first. I'll have a card pop up or something, or I'll have it linked in the description. This is a better way of getting the edges to not have the black bars here. I just put the output width and height both to 200, and you can see what that does. If you scale out, you can see now it makes it like a cube. I just wanted to show you what that did. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go to offset, drag offset onto the bottom layer here, and then keyframe the shift center to, and then I'm going to go all the way to the end, or like the frame right before the end, and then open up effects just so we can see the keyframe and drag it over a few times. I like to drag it over a decent amount of times so it has some movement, but it's not too much. And then I'm going to have it line up with NLE as best as we can here. It's not super important that it's perfect, but I try to make it as good as possible. Once you play it, if you want it to go faster, obviously drag it more to a higher number. And if you want it to go slower, then drag it down a little bit. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is add a directional blur and drag that onto the bottom clip as well. And I'm going to turn the direction the way we're moving the offset. You can do it vertical or horizontal. I'm going to do horizontal here. I start the blur, since we have it in the After Effects composition through Premiere, I'm going to have it start off at like 15 or something, so it already has some kind of blur. But if you had the effect start, you could have it start at 0. But since we already have it started right at the beginning at 15, and then maybe at the peak of the effect or whatever, I'll bump it up to like 30, and then we can go back down to the last frame and make it 15. And then I just like to highlight all the clips and click F9, or you can right click and go to Keyframe Assistant and Ease Ease. That's just going to make the motion blur look a little bit more smooth. If you watched the last video, that's pretty much the whole effect. It looks pretty cool. If you go back into Premiere and render it out, but I'm actually going to be showing you kind of how to do this right here, or a few variations. What I'm going to do is duplicate the top layer so it's just the masked out version of him, and move the position all the way until he's off the screen to the left, keyframe it, go to the last frame, and then just click reset and then drag it to the last frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the layer again, and then for this layer, go to the first frame, click reset, and then instead of to the left, I'm going to drag it to the right, go ahead and duplicate again, go to the transform, reset the first frame, and this time I'm going to go down to the bottom and then duplicate it one last time, and we're going to bring it all the way up to the top. That way NLE kind of comes together as a from all angles, I guess you could say. And if you didn't want the one to be in the middle here, you can go ahead and just turn that layer off, and then he like comes together at the last frame. I think that's pretty cool. You can also highlight all the keyframes here and push F9 on them just to ease them. It'll make it look a little bit better. That way the movement's like a little bit smoother. And you can see what that looks like. And then for the next effect, I'm just going to go ahead and delete those 4 corner ones and keep the original one raised in the center. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that one again, and then actually go to the bottom one, so the one behind the top layer, and we can keyframe. I'm just going to go ahead and keyframe them all. All you really need is position and rotation, but you could also scale it up or do whatever you want. I'm going to give you guys some kind of examples. So I did that at the beginning, and then maybe like a few frames in or whatever, drag them out to the right and add some rotation, kind of how Wilko did. And then I'm going to go back here and then just click on all that stuff, shift click on all these here, and then go to reset. I'm going to also highlight all the keyframes and click F9, and what that's going to do is just obviously make them smooth again. And then you can see that NLE kind of peeks out behind here. What I'm going to do to make it look a little bit better, and I forgot to do on the last one actually, is go to toggle switches and modes here until you see the motion blur, and click motion blur, and that's just going to add some blur to them so it looks a little bit smoother. And then I noticed Wilko also added some movement to the overall clip. So what you can do is highlight all these 3, go to pre-compose, keyframe everything default, find the peak of the effect right before he starts going back in, and then maybe scale in and move the position so it's like on him more, and then find the last frame where it goes back to normal. Shift click on all these and click reset, and then I'm going to ease them. And then you can see you have a little bit of movement. You can do a little bit more aggressive if you want, even add some rotation. And then for the last one, what I'm going to do is delete all the keyframes and just have the original clone. And at the start, I'm going to have it go, I'm going to go halfway through roughly, and then I'm going to drag them off the screen to the left. And I'm actually going to duplicate this layer, go ahead and delete the keyframes, and have it start at the spot where you had them go off to the left. Actually reset it so we can see, have them come to the right over here, and then go to the last frame, and then just have it reset. What that's going to do is he's going to like go to the left and come back to the right. Obviously the speed is a little bit off here. You can make them go quicker or whatever. It's just an idea of a way to tweak it. We could probably make it like shorter, have it start here and then end somewhere over here. And if you think the blur is a little too aggressive, you can go to composition settings over here, go to advanced, make the shutter angle a little bit less. And those are the 3 effects I'm going to show you. Some other things you can do to the clone is add some echo and have it like trail like a ghost. You can add some glow, a bunch of different effects you can add to the clone and have them move around and key from the position. I saw Wilko do that in this video, so definitely go give that a watch. I'll have the music video linked below as well as Wilko's Instagram. Be sure to follow him. But he used this effect in a real creative way now that a lot of people are actually using this effect. There's really endless ways you can use this. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. Follow me on all the social medias. Give my vlogs a chance. I'll have some of those linked below as well. Join the Discord, come chat with us, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Peace.